After 3 weeks, Pete Buttigieg finally got around to visiting East Palestine, Ohio, the site of the train wreck and massive chemical spill that devastated a small town. Because, well, they can't send Joe Biden because there's no way that he would handle situations like this.
Mayor Pete, why did it take you an entire 2.5 weeks to actually get here to respond to East Palestine? Will you apologize to the residents of this city for the slow response? To the government's slow response, do you have any apology?
I'm a press person, I can help you.
Sure. So can we ask why it took?
This is Pete Buttigieg's press secretary, by the way, who just said that she doesn't want to be on camera. That's your job, lady. That's why you're there.
Can we ask why it took him almost 3 weeks to get here?
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this on camera.
What was his personal time off while there was a tragedy happening here?
And can we also ask too why it, he waited until President Donald Trump came here to actually make an appearance? This is a very important question that people across America would like to know.
I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I do not want to be on camera.
Well,
please put your cameras away.
I'm sorry, we're on a public area, so we are allowed as press.
You guys, I would like you guys to turn your cameras off.
You're not on my camera.
Well, I'm on a camera. I would like your cameras to be off, and then I'm happy to talk to you guys.
Well, if you're the press secretary of the Department of Transportation, don't you think you should be able to ask questions from the American public that you serve?
Absolutely. I would like to do it without the camera on.
Can I ask why?
I think that is a little bit aggressive. That's why. And
why is it?
It's aggressive. And by the way, the woman asking the questions, the actual reporter, is Savannah Hernandez, who was banned from Twitter under the previous ownership for doing quality journalism like this, but thankfully has been restored by Elon Musk. Old Joe's press secretary, whose job is also to face the cameras and answer questions for the general public, is having a very difficult time explaining why Old Joe is in hiding.
Two questions. First of all, the president frequently visits the sites of many natural and man-made disasters, and this situation in East Palestine has clearly required a multi-agency response from the federal and the state level. So I guess I'm just struggling to understand why the president wouldn't go to East Palestine. Does it simply not meet the bar for a presidential visit?
Look, I want to be very clear here. There's no reason to struggle, I don't think, on this question. I think when you look at how the federal agencies have responded from day one and took this very seriously.
Actually, FEMA rejected helping them until Donald Trump announced that he was going to go down there himself. And obviously, the person who is struggling here is you. This is what happened on Wednesday when a real leader showed up. He later went to McDonald's, famously his favorite restaurant, we all have flaws, to buy the local firefighters and police lunch.
How are you today? Nice to meet you.
Hello, everybody. That's a nice, beautiful looking group of people. So I know this menu better than you do, okay? I probably know it better than anybody in here. We're going to take care of the fire department.
Okay.
We're going to take care of the police department. And what we do is all the people that are here right
I'm
now.
the owner, Mr. President.
So
How are you?
I don't have to give him.
That's right.
That's a good one to own, right?
Yes, it is. One of the best.
He also brought pallets of water because many of the locals are afraid to drink the tap water out of concern that it may be contaminated. And it was water from his golf courses and his hotels that's private labeled with the Trump brand. So, of course, the liberals were upset about that he brought them Trump brand water bottles. And look at this. CNN miraculously finally decided to cover the situation there.
Tonight, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is on the ground in Ohio. Its stated mission to make sure Norfolk Southern does everything to fix the toxic mess caused by one of its trains flying off the tracks. The move follows 3 weeks of angry pleas from residents of East Palestine that the company, the agency, and the President of the United States are simply not doing enough.
Meanwhile, MSNBC is upset that Donald Trump shined a spotlight on the situation, thus causing the Biden administration to finally get involved.
It's just so gross. He really is. I mean, talking about Trump water, branded Trump water. And by the way, he's such a hypocrite, too, talking about attacking Joe Biden while Joe Biden is going, risking his life, fighting for Western democracy, something he doesn't give a damn about.
You mean visiting a foreign country who he's handing hundreds of billions of our tax dollars to help them defend their border while he ignores ours, while hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens flood across it every single month, month after month? Of course, the Cloud News Network continues to run defense for old Joe, missing in action during this crisis, while Donald Trump is there to help out.
The criticizing Biden for being overseas in Ukraine on even the 1-year anniversary and not being in Ohio is a total false equivalence. It's complete BS. And you know, you can do both and you should do both. And
And he hasn't done both, and it's been 3 weeks.
Biden should go to that community. But the preeminent responsibility is leading an international coalition to stop Russian aggression and to try to undercut that under the auspices of America First and photo ops at McDonald's passing out branded water isn't a sufficient response. They want to draw the contrast, but it's a false contrast. It's a false choice.
No, you're just gaslighting again. Now the media is patting Pete Buttigieg on the back as if he's a big hero now that he finally reluctantly showed up after 3 weeks.
We were there to work. We were there to get things done. And I'm really glad I had the opportunity to be there.
You did nothing. He insinuated that the only reason people care about what's happening there is because they're being duped by misinformation online.
Both information and misinformation injected into this situation, none of which is to the benefit of the community when it comes to that misinformation. So I lost my train of thought.
You lost your train of thought. Maybe pick a less insensitive metaphor since you're on the site of a literal train wreck. You know things are bad when the enemy propaganda is irrefutably true. Here's Vladimir Putin on American culture today.
Now look at what they're doing with their own peoples. They're destroying the institution of family, their cultural and historical identity, and various perversions with regard to children up to pedophilia are accepted as the new norm.
Drag Queen Story Hour, the gender-bending teachers that are all over TikTok. I mean, there's really no refuting what he's saying.
And priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings.
Well, it's actually even worse than that because now we have supposed pastors, priests, and reverends like this.
God is gay. God is a lesbian. God is trans. God is gender non-binary. God is straight. God is cisgender. God is black. God is white. God is Middle Eastern. God is Asian. God is differently abled mentally and physically. God is able-bodied. God is you, and you are God.
No, that's actually literally what Satan teaches, who you are obviously serving. Oh, and by the way, order my new I Love White People shirt from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below before it probably gets banned. Like all of my designs, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.